So I'm wondering if the competitive instinct, you know, is that a good instinct? And like from a biblical standpoint, is there really any room for the competitive element? So, uh, I think the competitive spirit, if you will, is kind of glorified in American culture. Sports are a big deal. And people who are very competitive are generally in the business world are kind of like you may not like them in the office if you're working with them, but in general, the way it's talked about is as if it's a good trait. You're very competitive. You have a strong desire to be the best, to beat the competition, all that stuff. That's considered to be like a very good thing, uh, a desirable trait for someone who's going to make progress in the business world. So, um, I don't know. I don't know. I really, there is in the Bible, the this whole idea of warfare is prevalent throughout the Bible, I would say. Of course, in the Old Testament, you have it with the children of Israel taking over the promised land. In the New Testament, you have the spiritual warfare. And so conflict and battle, like these are very common themes in the Bible and not something that we have to shy away from. At the same time, Jesus gave some pretty radical teachings on, turning the other cheek and things like that. And so, um, I don't, I'm not recalling anything especially in the New Testament, maybe, but or I should say, specifically in Jesus' teachings, I'm not really recalling anything that would say being competitive is a good thing. If anything, there's actually a lot to the contrary that would say, yeah, look, I mean, take the lowest seat, be the servant, consider other people better than you, and you know, so most of I'd venture to say that a lot of the motivation in competition, you might say, is ego to some extent. Now, maybe it's like you want to improve yourself, and you're in a sense competing against yourself to see how well can I improve, how much can I improve, how much can I grow, and I'm going to use other people's performance as a measuring stick. So, uh, I don't really know. I enjoy competition in certain settings, certain instances, and others I really don't. I really kind of despise it actually. So, in a sports setting, like when I'm playing pickleball, I do enjoy competition, and I'm fairly competitive, and you know, but that's part of what kind of keeps it fun for me, right? Whereas if I'm around someone who's genuinely like sort of competitive in a toxic way, um, whether it's like in a church or inside a workplace, to where that person always has to be proving that they're better than you. Like to me, that's very obnoxious, and so um, now there may be certain levels of kind of like fun competition inside a workplace that could be good, could be healthy, could be fun, but I don't know. I think that just from sort of a casual read of the New Testament, you're going to find that being competitive is not a trait that is highly regarded at all. I think if you think about competition, usually it's kind of self-focused attempt to be more valuable than other people, if you will. In this, and not I don't mean more value as in someone who provides more valuable. I mean someone as in someone who's regarded by other people as being more valuable, and so that regard is what you're going for. So the more I think about it, I think the more I'm thinking that competition or the competitive spirit is sort of fundamentally ego driven, if you will. And so I'm starting to question a little bit, my competitiveness in pickleball. Um, Is it healthy to engage in to have a hobby that's ego driven? If indeed that is the case for me. So I don't know. I don't know. There, maybe I'll have to rethink this a little bit.